So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys how I've been able to stay in Canada for 3 years, which is still ongoing, without having to pay any tuition fee, school fees, or anything of that sort. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're an oldie, thank you so much for coming back. My name is Nneka Isaiah and you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how I was able to get my postgraduate work permit. So you guys already know that I don't really like to talk about stuff that I don't have experience in. Like, I like to talk about things that I've actually experienced personally for myself before dishing out information to you guys, just so that I can evaluate my own process. I've randomly mentioned this in several videos before, but today I wanted to make a video specific to getting your postgraduate work permit. I'm done schooling in Canada and right now I'm on my postgraduate work permit. My postgraduate work permit officially started January 24th of 2021, but I applied since August 4th of 2020. Postgraduate work permit is a permit, or it's a work permit that is given to you by the government after you finish your postgraduate course, and this legally allows you to work in the country you schooled in. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to be dividing this video into 4 parts. The first part is my experience. The second part is going to be the documents you will need to apply for a postgraduate work permit. The third part is going to be the timing of the application process, and the fourth part is going to be the tips or the lessons I've learned so far during this whole journey. Now, my experience. I finished school 8th of August 2020, and after I finished school, obviously I knew I was going to stay in Canada and work. But if you're not going to stay in Canada, you don't have to apply for a postgraduate work permit. Most cases, most people stay in Canada and work for some time before they apply for their permanent residency. So in my case, I chose to stay back in Canada. The pandemic actually delayed so many processes, and in this case, it actually delayed the timing for me to get my transcript and my graduation letter. So after 1 week of my completion of school, I decided to apply for my postgraduate work permit. When I applied for my postgraduate work permit, I did not have my final year transcript yet, but I didn't think, or I didn't know I actually needed my final year transcript to be able to apply. So when I applied, there's a section that said that you would have to upload your final year transcript, but in this case I didn't upload my final year transcript. I uploaded my transcript for my first course. Just in case you don't know, I did 2 programs here in Canada. So my first program transcript was what I uploaded for the section that said final year transcript, which was a big mistake. When they say final year transcript that actually includes both your first program and your second program together. So I only uploaded my first year's transcript, which was a huge mistake, like I said. After 2 weeks, my school sent me the final year transcript, but I didn't use that. CIC contacted me and they told me that I'd had to send my final year transcript. So I did that. I sent my final year transcript to them, and that whole process took almost like 1 month. 1 month extra. I applied August, so September, October, November, December, January. So it took me 5 months before I could actually get my postgraduate work permit. So yeah, that's my experience. That's what happened to me. So just in case you want to apply for your postgraduate work permit, you have to wait for your final year transcript first. So now let's go to the next section, which is documents you would need. So I'll be listing all the documents you would need, and I also leave the list in the description box just for reference sake. So the first thing you need is your international passport. The second thing you need is a passport photograph. You would need your letter of completion, also known as a graduation letter. You will also need your transcript, which is also issued and sent to you by your school. You would need a scanned copy of your immigration document. In my case, study permit. In your case, it can be a visitor's visa. You need a biometrics. In my case, I didn't need a biometric because when I was coming to Canada, my biometrics was done, and biometric lasts for 10 years before you need to renew it. A friend of mine, she's from Nepal, she didn't do her biometrics when she was coming into Canada. When she was applying for her postgraduate work permit, they actually asked her to provide biometrics, but I think due to the COVID-19 restrictions, some documents are not needed right now. It's not like an urgent thing right now because of the COVID-19 restrictions. You will need to also provide medicals. Medicals is not for everyone. Providing a medical test is not for everyone. Only if you work in the health sector, you work with clients, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a caregiver, or you work in the health sector in general. That's when you need your medicals done and sent to CIC. But if not, you're an engineer or you cook, or you do something else that has nothing to do with the health field, then you don't need to do medicals. The next thing, which is the most important thing, is money. You need moolah. As of today, being 24th February 2021, you need 255 Canadian dollars to apply for a postgraduate work permit. I also want to mention that when you're applying for your postgraduate work permit, you don't need to show proof of funds. Proof of fund is when you apply for a visa into a country, you ask you to show your bank statement or bank statement of the person who's going to sponsor you. In this case, you don't need any proof of fund, which is actually a very good thing, because no one is going to stress you to start looking for money to put inside your account to show someone to give you a permit, right? So you don't need a proof of fund in this case. So now the next section of today's video I would like to talk about is the timing of the application process. How long does it actually take for you to get your postgraduate work permit? On the CIC website, they said the online application takes 90 days and the paper application takes 111 days. But they also said due to the COVID restrictions, the timing has actually been extended because they're trying to work with shorter employees to restrict the spread of the virus and everything. So it might take longer than that. Mine took 5 months, that is 150 days to get my application, and I applied online. My case is kind of different because of what happened to me. I've already explained to you guys. But my friends that actually applied, it actually took them 3 to 4 months. That's roughly around 100 to 120 days to get their work permit issued to them. Just start as early as possible. Immediately you get all the documents you need, just start. Okay, now let's take a break. Just in case you actually got into this part of the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and thumbs up this video too. Thank you. Let's continue. So now let's go on to the tips. The first tip I want to give you guys is the duration of your school has a huge impact on the amount of years you get for your postgraduate work permit. So 8 months to 1 year of school equals 1 year work permit. 16 months to 24 months of school equals 3 years work permit. Okay, but there's someone I know who actually schooled for 1 year, but she was given the 3 years work permit, and she was given this work permit because she condensed all her courses into 1 year. Her program was meant to last for 2 years, so instead of doing it for 2 years, she decided to compress everything and do it in 1 year. Right? They issue your work permit based on your credit, so the amount of credits you do also can affect the amount of years you get on your postgraduate work permit. So now the second tip is be proactive. Start early. Like, don't wait till after like 5 months or 3 months or 2 months. Immediately you get all your necessary documents, just start to apply. Don't wait for so long, because in my own case I didn't actually have any problem with getting employed because I just continued with the company I've been working with since I was in school. So I just continued working with them. But in this case now, I was not hired as a full-time, but when I was in school I was hired as a part-time. Start early, because if you're to apply for a new job, most times the employer might ask you for your work permit, and if you don't have your postgraduate work permit, they might be deliberating if they want to hire you or not, because people like to see things. They like to see, they have to have things on your hand. If you tell them, oh, you've applied and it's still processing, they might be so iffy wanting to hire you. So just start early so that you can have all your documents as fast as possible. I know now with this whole COVID-19 thing, it has really affected the processing time for so many things, for so many things. So most employers or most organizations might kind of understand why maybe it's taking so long, but just still start as early as possible. Immediately you get all your documents that's needed for you to apply for your work permit, just apply immediately. The third tip is you can actually go to a point of entry to apply for your work permit. Point of entry means a border. So just like how you're coming into Canada, you were issued your study permit at that point of entry. The point of entry into Canada was an airport. Just like you're giving your study permit at the airport, you can also go to a point of entry, any border at all that is very close to your city, to actually apply for your work permit. When this whole COVID thing started, the border in my city was closed. They were not issuing any work permit because of the pandemic, but some other borders were actually issuing work permits. So if you have a job that actually requires you to show your work permit like immediately, you can always take all your documents and every necessary things you will need to apply. Just like you're applying for the work permit online, all the documents you will need to apply for the work permit online, just take everything there to the point of entry or to the border and they will issue you your postgraduate work permit there. I knew about it, but the border close to my city wasn't issuing work permit at that time because of the pandemic. So just in case like restrictions are lifted and you can actually go to the border to get your work permit, just do it, because it's way easier and it kind of gives you an upper hand. Now, the fourth point I want to mention is when your study permit expires, your visa expires. It's so unfortunate that your study permit or your work permit doesn't actually give you entry back into the country. You can leave the country, but when you're coming back, you have to apply for another visa. So if now like you want to travel, in my case now, I want to travel back to Nigeria, I would need to apply for a temporary visitor visa that will now be extended to the date of the expiring date on my postgraduate work permit. So when you apply for the visa, the duration of the visa is going to be equal to the duration of your work permit. So if now, for example, your work permit is going to expire September of 2024, the temporary visa that will issue to you is going to expire on that same day, September 2024. Just keep that in mind, because most people think that your work permit or your study permit actually allows you entry into the country, but no, that's not the case. Once it expires, you have to apply for another visa that will be stamped on your passport. This visa is going to be stamped on your passport. It's not going to be on a separate paper or something, just like your work permit or your study permit. No, it's going to be stamped like you're actually applying for a visa. So it's going to be stamped on your passport. So that's something you should know. It's very, very important, so that you don't go and jackpot now. Before now, you cannot come inside again. So just keep that in mind. The fifth point is your social insurance number expires when your study permit or when your work permit expires. So if now you're issued a new study permit or you're issued a work permit, your social insurance number is going to expire on the same day that your work permit is going to expire. So when you receive your postgraduate work permit, go to Service Canada to renew your social insurance number. A new social insurance number will not be given to you, but they will extend it, just like how they extend your visa. That's also the same way they will actually extend your social insurance number as well. So now the sixth point is the expiring date of your passport has a huge effect on the duration of your postgraduate work permit. My international passport is going to expire, let's say for example, November 2023. I was issued a postgraduate work permit January 2021. So if you add 3 years to it, my postgraduate work permit is meant to expire January 2024. But because my Nigerian international passport is going to expire November 2023, they could not issue me the full length of my work permit. So instead of them giving me the work permit till January 2024, they gave me a work permit till November 2023, because that's the month that my passport was going to expire. But in this case, you can reapply for extension and they will extend it to January 2024 if you don't get your permanent residence before then. But you'd have to pay extra money. You would have to pay another, I think, $150 or so to extend your postgraduate work permit to the exact date is meant to expire. So yeah, the expiring date of your passport has a huge effect on the duration of your postgraduate work permit. So yeah, just keep this in mind because it's very, very important. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I hope you learned a thing or two, and I hope I was not rambling too much because this video was kind of everywhere, but I tried to section it bit by bit. But just in case you have any further questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get to them as soon as possible, like I always say and like I always do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also turn on the post notifications so that you can get notified every single time I upload a new video. If you actually got to this part of the video, please subscribe and like this video, share this video with your friends so that other people can actually learn what you've learned from today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Bye.